The fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime in December 2024 marked a turning point for Syria. Amidst the upheaval, the autonomous region of Rojava in northern Syria faces an array of challenges. The region, which declared autonomy in 2012, has been a beacon of democratic self-governance and a haven for ethnic and religious minorities. However, with Assad's departure, Rojava now navigates a complex and perilous landscape. The withdrawal of a central authority has left a power vacuum, creating fertile ground for regional powers and internal factions to vie for control. The Assad regime, though brutal and authoritarian, had imposed a degree of stability, albeit through repression. Its absence creates uncertainty and instability, raising questions about the future of Syria and the region. Rojava, with its fragile autonomy, faces the daunting task of safeguarding its hard-won gains while confronting new threats. The international community, preoccupied with the Syrian conflict's aftermath, has largely neglected the plight of Rojava. This lack of attention further exacerbates the challenges faced by the region. It is imperative that the world recognizes Rojava's unique experiment in democratic self-governance and provides the support needed to ensure its survival. The future of Rojava hangs in the balance, caught between the remnants of a shattered regime and the ambitions of regional players. Looming large over Rojava's fragile peace is the persistent threat of Turkish aggression. Since the Syrian conflict's early days, Turkey has viewed Rojava's Kurdish-led administration with suspicion. Ankara sees the region's Kurdish population as an extension of the Kurdistan Workers' Party. This perception has fueled Turkey's military incursions into Rojava. One of the most egregious examples is the ongoing bombardment of the Sheba region. This assault has displaced thousands, forcing them to seek refuge in camps. The Turkish-backed Syrian National Army has been accused of committing atrocities. The capture of Manbij by Turkish-backed forces marked another blow to Rojava's security. The city fell after intense fighting, resulting in widespread looting and displacement. The Turkish government justifies its actions as necessary to combat terrorism. Critics argue these claims are a pretext for expanding Turkey's influence. The relentless violence and instability plaguing Rojava have triggered a dire humanitarian crisis. Hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced from their homes, seeking refuge in overcrowded and undersupplied camps. The situation is particularly dire for women, children, and the elderly, who are disproportionately affected by the conflict's devastating consequences. Many camps lack basic necessities such as clean water, food, and medical supplies. The harsh winter conditions exacerbate the suffering, with many families struggling to survive in tents and makeshift shelters. The lack of adequate sanitation and hygiene has led to the outbreak of diseases, further endangering the lives of vulnerable populations. The international community's response to the humanitarian crisis in Rojava has been woefully inadequate. Aid organizations struggle to access those in need due to ongoing insecurity and a lack of funding. The situation demands immediate and sustained attention from global actors. Without urgent action, the humanitarian crisis in Rojava will continue to worsen, leaving a generation scarred by conflict and displacement. The United States has played a complex role in the Syrian conflict and its impact on Rojava. Partnering with the Syrian Democratic Forces, the US helped defeat ISIS and liberate territory. However, inconsistent US policies have left Rojava vulnerable to Turkish aggression. The US-brokered ceasefire in 2023 was short-lived, with Turkish-backed forces violating it. The US faces a balancing act between supporting Turkey, a NATO ally, and the SDF. This balancing act has come at a cost to the people of Rojava. The US must decide if its commitment to Rojava extends beyond the fight against ISIS. Section 5. A global call to action rise up for Rojava and beyond. Amidst the geopolitical complexities and the escalating humanitarian crisis, a global solidarity movement has emerged to support Rojava. Organizations like Rise Up for Rojava and the Emergency Committee for Rojava are working tirelessly to raise awareness about the situation in Rojava and mobilize international pressure on governments to take action. Rise Up for Rojava a grassroots network of activists and organizations, has organized numerous protests and demonstrations around the world, calling for an end to Turkish aggression and solidarity with the people of Rojava. The Emergency Committee for Rojava is focusing its efforts on lobbying US legislators to condemn Turkey's actions and to provide humanitarian assistance to those affected by the conflict. These efforts are crucial in challenging the prevailing narrative surrounding the conflict and in amplifying the voices of the Kurdish people and their allies. The international community cannot afford to remain silent as a beacon of democracy and pluralism is under attack. It is imperative that governments, international organizations and individuals heed the call to action and stand in solidarity with Rojava. Section 6. The experiment of Rojava's grassroots democracy. At the heart of Rojava's struggle for survival lies a unique and inspiring experiment in grassroots democracy. Since declaring autonomy in 2012, Rojava has implemented a system of self-governance rooted in the principles of direct democracy, gender equality, and ecological sustainability. This model, inspired by the ideas of Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan and the libertarian socialist philosophy of communalism, seeks to create a society where power is decentralized and shared among all members of the community. Central to Rojava's governance model are the communes, local councils where residents gather to make decisions about their communities. Each commune has 2 co-presidents, one male and one female, to ensure gender balance in leadership positions. These communes form the foundation of a bottom-up system of governance, where decisions are made through consensus-based processes and where citizens have a direct say in shaping their lives. Section 7. A century of resistance. The roots of Rojava's autonomy. To understand Rojava's struggle for autonomy, it is essential to delve into the historical context of Kurdish resistance. The Kurds, an ethnic group without a state of their own, have faced decades of oppression and marginalization at the hands of the Turkish, Syrian, Iranian, and Iraqi governments. In Turkey, for instance, the Kurdish language and culture were suppressed for decades, and Kurdish political parties were banned. The Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, founded in 1978, emerged as the vanguard of Kurdish resistance in Turkey. The PKK initially sought to establish an independent Kurdish state, but in later years its ideology shifted towards democratic confederalism, a model of decentralized grassroots governance that emphasizes autonomy and self-determination for all peoples. The Syrian civil war, which erupted in 2011, created an opportunity for the Kurds in Syria to assert their autonomy. As the Assad regime's grip on power weakened, Kurdish groups inspired by the PKK's ideology established their own autonomous administration in northern Syria, which later became known as Rojava. Section 8. Navigating a fragile peace. The path forward for Rojava. The path forward for Rojava is fraught with challenges and uncertainties. The region remains vulnerable to Turkish aggression and the international community's support remains inconsistent at best. However, amidst the turmoil, there are glimmers of hope. The resilience of the Rojava people, their commitment to democratic values, and the growing global solidarity movement provide reasons for cautious optimism. A lasting solution to the conflict in Syria must include recognition of Rojava's autonomy and security guarantees from the international community. Turkey must be pressured to end its military operations and engage in a meaningful dialogue with Rojava's leadership. Furthermore, the international community must provide sustained humanitarian assistance to those affected by the conflict and support Rojava's efforts to rebuild its economy and infrastructure. The success of Rojava's experiment in democratic self-governance has implications that extend far beyond the region. It offers a model for peaceful coexistence and power sharing in a world increasingly riven by conflict and division. The world cannot afford to stand idly by as this beacon of hope is extinguished. Section 9. The uncertain future, challenges and opportunities for Rojava. As Rojava enters a new era, it faces a multitude of challenges and opportunities. The Assad regime's demise, while removing an immediate threat, has also created a power vacuum that regional actors are eager to fill. Turkey's continued hostility and the uncertain role of the United States pose significant risks to Rojava's security and autonomy. The humanitarian crisis, exacerbated by ongoing displacement and a lack of resources, demands immediate attention from the international community. Rebuilding Rojava's war-torn infrastructure and revitalizing its economy will require sustained investment and support from international partners. Despite these daunting challenges, the people of Rojava remain committed to their vision of a democratic, egalitarian, and ecological society. The international community must seize this opportunity to support Rojava's efforts to build a brighter future for its people and to serve as a model for peace and cooperation in a turbulent region.